In the confines of all that exists, two beings of great powers were fighting in a battle to the death. These two powerful deities were the creator god Saikibura and his evil counterpart, the very negative creator god Yiki. Both subjects were having a very intense battle, which was destroying stars and galaxies. In that instant, Saikibura was able to have a vision, a powerful warrior which mixed the two most powerful genetics of all the multiverses were in the same individual name, Kakarot. Today I'll die, but I'll take you with me, brother. I won't let you do any damage until the Chosen One finishes you permanently.
What the hell are you saying? We're creator gods. There's no being that can face us.
Saikibura in that instant had separated 80% of his power, which a part of it would be sent to a dragon god named Zamara, and the other 40% to a Saiyan god, Saikibura, in that instant would embrace Yiki and perform a sacrifice technique, which did not require ki exactly. The price was much higher. The price to pay was his soul would disappear completely, not being part of hell or paradise. It was as if he had never existed. Millions of years had passed since that event, in which all the energy would continue to travel throughout the infinite universe. Nevertheless, Zalama had used a little of that power to rebuild the entire multiverse. However, 100 years later, the Chosen One was born. That is, at that moment, both energies had left the creator god, had entered, which came from the powerful god Zalama and the powerful legendary Ozaru. That's right, at that moment, a little boy named Kakarot would shake all the 12 universes. However, mortals were not able to feel his power. The only ones who were able to feel it were the angels and the beings of the kingdom of everything, since his power even surpassed the power of a destructive god.
Whose power is all this? I can't believe that a warrior with all this power exists. We've not noticed his presence. My lord, the power of this guy is so great that he would be able to end the lives of his guardians. Only you in your combat form and I are rivals. I know that, Daishinken, so let's investigate who this power is about. Ask for reinforcements to all the angels and gods. We don't know who it is about. Angels, go to planet 703 of the Universe 7, better known as the planet of the Saiyans. We don't know that individual gives off so much power. All would leave towards the Universe 7, taking a matter of minutes to be a maximum alert. At that moment of arrival, the kings of everything would go to the place where such power was emanated. However, they were a little confused to observe a baby. However, next to the baby was a Saiyan. Daishinken quickly would be on guard because the power that was felt was incredible. Who are you? And how do you have all that little battle power? What are you talking about? I don't understand you at all.
We have noticed the incredible power you've unleashed, so you better cooperate. Since we're here with all the gods, you don't stand a chance.
I'm not lying to you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Daishinken at that moment, without trusting himself at a great speed, would give a blow to Bardock, who would fall out of combat. Daishinken would be very confused of everything that happened. However, at that moment, all the 12 universes began to shake brutally. That's right, the baby boy who was in the incubator had moved a little, and by not controlling his power, even the entire Saiyan planet was involved in a great chaos. Daishinken at that moment would realize that the true bearer of all that power would be the little boy.
I can't believe this. Is that little child the being that's releasing such abominable power?
We will finish with that little child, because if just being a baby releases so much power, that child will be the annihilation of the entire multiverse. Both guardians would throw themselves against the incubator machine of the little Kakarot. Nevertheless, in that same instant, a surprising pressure would fall all over the place. That's right, in that same instant, a gigantic Ozaru of a silver color would appear. It would seem to be able to be observed from all the universes due to its bestial size. In that moment, it would begin to speak, leaving all those present surprised.
If you take one more step, I swear that I'll finish with each one of you. And now that you finish with the life of my bearer, you'll be the salvation of this small multiverse.
All the divine beings had been surprised when they realized that the beast had spoken. However, the guardians, without caring anything of what the Ozaru said, likewise began their attack. But it was the worst mistake they could make. because at that moment the Ozaru at an incredible speed would teleport behind each of them, and from its mouth would create spheres of energy, leaving no trace of both of them.
Does anyone else want to be eliminated? What are you supposed to be? And how is it that all that power can be in the body of that little Saiyan boy? I understand that you are the king of everything, but that's none of your business. You better leave this planet if you don't want me to finish you all off. I won't let you treat me like this. I'm the king of everything, and I deserve respect. Let me see what you think of this damn beast.
Zeno at that moment would begin to increase all his power, being able to surpass to his combat form. That's right, the powerful king of everything, Zeno-sama, was able to transform, and in the same way he would throw himself against the immense Ozaru. However, he would be surprised to hit him with all his strength, and only have been able to move a little the snout of the giant Ozaru.
Is that all you can do? Don't make me laugh. Oh, I thought the king of everything was a being of power, hard to reach, but you're nothing more than a poor worm.
The Ozaru at that moment would give him a powerful blow with one of his hands, making the king of everything return to his normal state. That's right, that beast was able to make the king lose his combat mode with a single blow.
I didn't end your pathetic life, because if a king of everything dies, the whole multiverse will die with him. So for that simple fact, I'll let you live. But if you threaten me again, I'll end this multiverse myself.
We understand that you have great power, but please, tell us what is that you're looking for in this multiverse? Knowing so much about multiverses, you must know that this is one of the weakest multiverses of all.
That's right. I know it's one of the weakest of all. But first, I need to recover all my power so I can save you all.
We're sorry for the offense we have put you through today, so we'll be leaving.
Wait a minute. I can see that you are really not have bad intentions. You only wanted to protect your multiverse, so I'll revive your guards.
In that instant, from the body of the little Kakarot would emerge a part of Zalama, which would make his eyes shine, bringing back to life both guardians.
That will be all I will do for you on this occasion.
At that moment, the Ozaru as well as Zalama would disappear. At the same moment, Daishinka would approach Jine, Kakarot's mother.
We're sorry for everything that happened today. Your son will become a powerful warrior. It'll be your job and your education to give him if it becomes the destroyer of the multiverses or a savior.
Never thought that my little Kakarot would be so much power. And don't worry, we'll make sure that he becomes a warrior who will be able to protect all the others. At that moment, all the divine beings would leave to their respective planets. After approximately 20 years, which Kakarot had become a powerful warrior and had finished with the life of Frieza, when trying to destroy his planet on multiple occasions, Kakarot would begin to travel through each one of the multiverses. When Kakarot had the memories of the creator god Sekibura, he knew that he should become much more powerful to be able to face such a powerful god. My power is great, but compared to the other kings and subjects that exist in all the multiverses, I'm still too weak. After a few months of expedition, Kakarot would return again to his planet with the intention of training his father Bardock, because if he had a powerful partner, he could increase much faster his battle level. However, it was impossible, Bardock not being able to withstand even 1% of the power of Kakarot. However, at that precise moment, in his mind, he was able to observe his Ozaru.
Kakarot-sama, you can face the gods and angels, since they have divine power, but their power is great. Not compared to yours, but it'll be much more effective than training with your father.
I understand. That's what we'll do. Kakarot at that moment would say goodbye to his parents and would take course to the planet of Beerus. However, all the gods after the visit to the Saiyan planet 20 years ago all had trained, since they knew that if the child is revealed would be his end. However, even the great Zeno-sama, a beautiful angel, much more powerful than everything that exists, was very interested in Kakarot, since she has been watching him for some years. The power of that Saiyan grows more and more. I am impressed. With only 20 years, he has the necessary power to even defeat a king without even making any effort. Mikoshin would continue observing Kakarot. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, a strong rumble would make it shake. And at that moment, Beerus and Whis would approach where such a rumble had occurred. At the moment of arriving, both would notice the present Saiyan of Beerus would not recognize him just by observing him as a baby. However, Whis was able to recognize him, but before he speaks, Kakarot, with a much greater power, was able to make Whis not able to speak or even move a single one of his muscles, and would quickly communicate with Whis telepathically. "I know that you know who I really am, but I want this guy to use all his power. And don't be afraid that he'll be eliminated, so you'll better not say anything at all." At that moment, Kakarot will decrease his pressure.
What the hell is a Saiyan doing on my planet? Don't you know that I am the most powerful god of destruction among the 12 gods? If I wanted to, I could finish you off in the blink of an eye. I want you to try, and see if you have enough power to at least make me bleed a little.
Beerus at that moment, in anger, would throw himself against Kakarot, who would decrease his power to 5% of all his power, to take damage and get a Zenkai. Beerus at that moment, with his maximum power, would give a great blow to Kakarot, which would make him fall to the ground very badly wounded.
What the hell? I didn't understand that the Destroyer God possesses so much power. The blow that I received hurt me too much, but this is what I wanted.
At that moment, Kakarot would stand up and with a battle pose would begin to fight with the Destroyer God of Universe 7. At that moment, both began with a great battle, destroying stars, planets, and galaxies. The battle of Kakarot and Beerus would continue in its climax. That's right, the power of Beerus had surprised Kakarot, which did not imagine that Beerus would be so powerful. In the moment of the battle, Kakarot was able to end it by increasing his power to 25%. However, to his surprise, Beerus was able to dodge the blow that almost knocked him out of combat.
For a Saiyan, you are very powerful. You're worthy of observing 100% of all my power. So let's see what you can do against it.
At that moment, Beerus would begin to raise its power to the maximum. Even his appearance was changing. That's right, the power of Beerus was even shaking the entire Universe 7. At that moment of a great explosion of energy, Hawkeye could be observed Beerus in his new transformation, which would leave surprised Kakarot. Beerus at that moment would be launched against Kakarot. Goku was not able to dodge his powerful blow because he was only transformed into Super Saiyan. At that moment, Kakarot, knowing that even with all his ordinary transformations, he would be no match for that god, would begin to increase his power, accessing the Super Saiyan Blue. That's right, at that moment, Kakarot with a serious look would stand in front of Beerus.
You turned out to be a worthy opponent, so I'll show you my power.
Kakarot and Beerus at that same instant would disappear from the whole place, starting to move at a great speed, starting to disintegrate every planet in the universe. That's right, when colliding with their blows were so powerful that they were not able to neutralize them completely. Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she was equally very surprised to realize how a God Destroyer possessed all that great power.
This is incredible! Zeno-sama's multiverse has increased in power in an amazing way. I can't believe how much power they have achieved in such a short period of time.
Meanwhile, in the realm of the whole, Daishinkan was also watching the battle, being a little amazed at the power Beerus had obtained.
The god power Beerus had increased in an incredible way. He should be considered a supreme god. He has the power to back it up.
At that moment, one of the guards would approach Daishinkan.
Daishinkan, you are still watching the battle of that Saiyan? I don't know how a god was able to match him. If at that moment he was born, he was able to make everything around him tremble. I don't know, but his power doesn't compare to the moment of his birth. How strange.
What they did not know was that Kakarot's power was hidden. That's right, Kakarot only used what was necessary so that the other beings would not know his true battle level. Returning to the battle of both, Beerus and Kakarot were a little injured. However, at that moment, Kakarot would give a big smile and laugh.
You really are a powerful god. You've earned my respect. I, the most powerful Saiyan of all the universes, recognize you as a worthy opponent. What do you mean by this? Are you giving up? Of course not. In this instant, I'll demonstrate to you the power of which you'll not be able to surpass, no matter how hard you try.
Kakarot in that same instant would access to Ultra Instinct. That's right, in the same moment, Kakarot, with a powerful and accurate hit, was able to make Beerus fall to the ground, losing his transformation and being out of combat.
Angel of the Universe 7 Whis, I thank you for keeping my secret and excuse my behavior. I know that maybe you don't trust me, but a danger is approaching. Don't worry, Kakarot-sama. All the divine beings have given you the vote of confidence. Be sure that you'll not regret it. I'll do whatever it takes to protect this multiverse that I love so much.
Kakarot in that moment would leave it to an inhospitable place of all the Universe 7. That's right, Kakarot would begin to meditate, since for beings who broke the laws of power, it was of utmost importance to meditate. After a while on the planet of Beerus, he would wake up a little confused by everything that had happened.
Whis, what happened? Was I defeated? That's right, Mr. Beerus. The Saiyan named Kakarot defeated you. I can't believe I lost to a puny Saiyan. This can't be a damn nightmare. Of course not, Mr. Beerus. You lost to the best. I know you don't remember, but you just fought the Saiyan that was born 20 years ago. Was I able to fight against that gigantic power? That's right, Mr. Beerus. It seems that your power has grown so incredibly, you were able to face that powerful god and was even able to be recognized him. This only motivates me to become much more powerful. I won't fall so far behind that Saiyan. I want to have a rematch and defeat him in the next one.
Meanwhile, in a place far away from all the multiverses, one of Yiki's subordinates had awakened when he felt the essence of the protagonist god. Well, well, this seems very interesting to me. That's the power of a creator god. Better go and investigate. At that moment, a guy with horns on his head would stand up and at an impressive speed would begin to head towards the multiverse of Zeno-sama at an impressive speed that no king at all would be able to perceive it. Meanwhile, on the same planet, Bardock was also training because he didn't want to be so far behind the power that his son had.
I know that I was not born with great genetics of my son, but even if it costs me 100 times more to increase my power, I'll make it an effort.
Bardock at that time would begin to train to increase his power and be of help if a new enemy approaches the planet. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Zeno-sama for 10 years ago had not given signs of his life. That's right, Zeno-sama had suffered such defeat, was very bad, and for 10 years Zeno-sama entered one of the rooms of the Kingdom of Everything, and nothing was known about him until today. That is, Zeno-sama at that moment would come out of that room, but the power he gave off was extremely unreal. At that moment, even the High Priest would fall to his knees on the floor.
What is this pressure? Has a new enemy appeared?
At that moment, Zeno-sama will decrease all his pressure, making everyone present in the whole realm able to move freely.
Don't worry, it was only my pressure, because I'm not able yet to control, but you must all increase your power because something very negative is on its way to this multiverse.
What do you mean by that, Zeno-sama?
One thing that Ozaru is right about is our multiverse is under an incredible threat.
I don't understand, Zeno-sama. The Guardians like me are trained to become much more powerful.
Alright, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll try not to let my multiverse be annihilated.
Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, which still possessed a little of the essence of a creator god, a subordinate named Reich had arrived in front of both deities. However, unlike when Kakarot arrived to the planet, this time an incredible pressure seemed to be suffocating them since they could not even breathe. At that moment, Beerus would access his combat form, relieving the pressure, as well as Whis would increase his power to the maximum.
Do some simple gods want to confront me?
Beings that don't step on the ground of a king at all believe that they are capable of facing me. Reich at that moment, at a great speed, would begin a fight with both deities, which had no chance because the power of that god was in another dimension. At that precise moment, Beerus would charge a large sphere of Hakai energy, which Reich would disintegrate with a single one of his fingers.
This is incredible. The power of that guy is even greater than that of Kakarot-sama.
Reich at that moment took the battle a little more seriously and started to beat them both. That's right, the power of his blows was so powerful that even the whole planet was destroyed. After a few exchanges of blows, Beerus and Whis were in troubled conditions, and they were not able to continue the battle.
I'll spare your life if you give me information about everything I want to know. I'll not say anything for a being that releases pure evil from within. Wrong answer, God. I hope you're prepared to die, as this will be the end of you.
At that moment, Reich was about to end Beerus' life. A powerful blow would send him flying through a few mountains and trees. That very moment, Kakarot would take Beerus in his arms.
You did well, Beerus. Now you can rest. Thank you, Whis, for communicating with me. Now they're safe. Be careful, Kakarot-sama. This guy's powerful is incredible. Don't worry about me. I'll end the life of this wretch.
Kakarot at that moment would stretch one of his hands, being able to wrap both in a large sphere of energy, which both would begin to heal their wounds and recover each of their powers. At that moment, Reich would return to the battlefield, since the blow that Kakarot had given him contained an absurdly unreal power.
Who are you? How do you have so much power?
You've been able to cause me a little damage.
The only thing you should know is that I'm the one in charge of ending your miserable life.
Whis, you must do something. Kakarot's power and mine are equal, so he will be no match for him.
I don't know, Mr. Beerus, but the power that Kakarot gives off this time is much stronger than the one he fought with you.
Reich at that moment would throw himself against Kakarot, who was able to stop the blow, but it had been very difficult. At that moment, both subjects began to fight at a speed never seen before in this multiverse. Kakarot at that moment would throw a great sphere to the sky, creating a barrier so that no one else feels his powers. You think that sealing me will be enough? I'm the subordinate of the creator god.
I sealed you so that you won't have any other allies be able to interfere, because including you, there are 7 more of Yiki's subordinates.
So, you're the damned one who possesses the power of the creator god Sekibora. You have my job much easier. Here I'll be able to kill you without you having the chance to escape.
I'm now locked up with you. You're locked up with me. So I hope you're ready, because I'll use all my power, and nothing and nobody will be able to save you.
Kakarot at that moment began to increase his power to the maximum, accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 3 with the Ultra Instinct. That's right, the power that Kakarot was releasing was so much that even Beerus and Whis would be very surprised. But at that moment, Kakarot would pass to his Ozaru form, leaving everyone much more surprised.
What the hell? How is he able to turn into that gigantic monkey? From what I understand, the Saiyans have the ability to transform as long as they see the full moon.
I hope you're ready for your end, because with this body, I'm able to finish you with a single blow.
If your body increased so much in size, your speed will decrease too much. Reich at that moment would begin to give him a rain of blows, but to his surprise, the Ozaru would dodge each one of his blows.
Let's see what you think of this. Release of the King of Beasts, Ozaru Creator.
At that moment, a pentagram and a seal would be formed all over the place, being completely destroyed and beginning to increase its power much more, making all the universes tremble. Kakarot, such a moment, would continue increasing his power in an incredible way. So much was its bestial power that it would make even Reich retreat. However, at that moment, a gigantic Ozaru would appear in front of everyone, begin to fight with that guy. However, this time, at the time of colliding their fists, the difference of power was totally clear. Kakarot, having much more destructive power, was able to cause much more damage to Reich. After only 10 minutes of battle, in which Reich was very badly injured, he was furious. Not having the necessary power to end the life of that simple mortal, from his viewpoint, Kakarot was just another worm. Damn it! If you're only the same size as me, I'd be able to finish you off.
You're wrong. Even if I were your own size, you wouldn't be able to fight me.
What do you say we give it a try? Or are you afraid?
An existence like me will never be afraid of it being as weak as you.
Kakarot at that moment began to transform into Super Saiyan Phase 4. That's right, Kakarot, instead of returning to its base state, had evolved once again. The transformation he had obtained would leave surprised Whis and Beerus. Was he holding back in all battle? Even unleashing all his beastly power, it doesn't compare to the power with which he was born. Is that Saiyan so much more powerful, but he's limiting you to using a certain part of his power? That's something hard to believe.
For now, we're the same size. What do you say we end this battle once and for all?
I agree with you. Now I can finish you with a single blow. Reich at that moment, at an amazing speed that not even Whis was able to observe, had given a shrapnel of blows to Kakarot, which would send him flying into a lake, and without warning, he would charge a large sphere of energy, which would disintegrate all the water in the lake. What do you think of that, simple mortal? You're stupid to return to your normal state.
It seems that today we will die, since the power of Kakarot-sama has disappeared.
However, at that moment, a loud rumble would be felt all over the planet of Beerus. And at that moment, Kakarot would be seen shaking his chest where he had received such a powerful blow.
Was that all your power? The only thing you have done was to disappoint me. You don't have the power to even make me bleed.
Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she was very surprised to witness a part of Kakarot's power. That's right, his power was a power that, even for her, would be difficult to face. But she also wondered, who was that guy named Reich?
This is very strange. That guy has a very strange energy.
Returning to the battlefield, Kakarot at that moment, with a serious look, would stand in front of Reich at lightning speed.
I'm the Saiyan with the legendary power Ozaru and the dragon god Zalama, who will end the life of Yiki, and I will start with you.
Reich at that moment, with fear, would begin to attack desperately to Kakarot, but each of his attacks were in vain, because if they hit Kakarot, they had no effect. At that moment, Reich regretted having gone to that planet, because he knew he was going to die.
I know that you'll end my life, but I will not go to the other world alone.
Reich at that moment began to increase his power much more. Even his whole body began to spurt absurd amounts of blood. That's right, Reich was surpassing the limit of his body. At that moment, Reich would take Kakarot strongly with the intention of exploding.
I think it's honorable that you'll give your life to finish me. Divine body of steel, heavenly protection, divine bomb.
At that moment, a big explosion was able to be seen all over the place. Even the barrier that Kakarot had put had cracked a little. In the sky, you could see Reich very badly wounded on the verge of death.
The power of that bastard was really scary. I better get out of this place. I knew it'd be a very honorable act for a being like you. That little explosion was able to cause a few tickles all over my body.
What the hell are you? You can't be an ordinary being. Even we, who are born with the gift of possessing Creator Key, are not able to come out of an explosion like this without a scratch.
I'm not the same as you. I'm 100 times better than you. So now die!
Kakarot at that instant would stretch his hand, throwing a great sphere of Hawkeye energy, which would disintegrate Reich, leaving no trace of it. In that moment, Kakarot would stop concentrating energy in the field that protected Beerus and Whis.
Kakarot-sama, did you hold back in all battle? My power is to protect you. It's not to hurt you or to finish you. The only thing we did was have a great training.
I understand, Kakarot-sama, but rest assured that I'll become a very powerful being and soon I'll defeat you.
I'll be waiting for that moment with eagerness.
Kakarot at that moment, he was about to leave, would fall out of combat and return to his base state. That's right, although Kakarot did not show it, his body was in pieces. When using the power of the legendary Ozaru, his body was so heavy and dense that it was able to break each of his energy veins. At that moment, Beerus and Whis would take Kakarot to a room where he could rest. Meanwhile, with the 7 subordinates of the negative creator god, all of them would feel how Reich's vital energy had disappeared.
Reich's power has disappeared. A warrior seems to have the necessary power to finish with one of us. We must be attentive, because this is war.
Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, in a special room of the same form, Daishenkin, together with the Guardians of Zeno-sama, were training in a very bloody way. That's right, all the warriors wanted to strengthen their bodies as the hardened metal of all their universes.
We have been in this place for about 3 months, and I'm still not able to get used to this pressure.
We don't know how the King of Everything was able to endure all this for 10 years. Meanwhile, Zeno-sama, he was meditating to be able to control all his power at 100%. That's right, Zeno-sama had no longer returned to his base state. Now at all times he was transformed and ready for combat.
We must be ready for the war that's approaching. Even though I have all this power, I don't feel prepared. The danger that's approaching is of another level.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, Kakarot would continue out of combat and had already approximately 2 weeks since that great battle, in which Kakarot would continue out of combat. Nevertheless, inside himself, Kakarot was able to observe Zalama.
Kakarot, you've grown up a lot, and this is the first time I have met you. You are the chosen one to be the creator god, so don't disappoint us.
The power that sleeps inside you is a power that even capable of making the so-called creator gods tremble with fear. You're the salvation of this multiverse.
I'll not let you down. I'll save this multiverse, even if it costs me my life. I swear I'll do it.
Meanwhile, on the planet of Zeno-sama, he was very thoughtful because despite having all that bestial power, he was not prepared. However, at that very moment, a door of the Kingdom of Everything had opened after hundreds of thousands of years. That's right, From this room, a guy released a great power.
Wow, after so many years, a being has awakened the interest of my battle instinct again. This is something that does not happen every day.
At that moment, that subject would increase his power a little, making it difficult for even the king of everything, Zeno-sama, to breathe. At that moment, Zeno-sama would create a barrier around his body, being able to move freely.
Whose power is this? It's a power that at the top of everyone's list.
Meanwhile, in a faraway place, Mikoshin had felt the power of Zeldris, and she would recognize it quickly as she had fought with it in the past.
But if this is the appearance of Zeldris, how the hell did he break free from the seal of a king at all? This is bad.
Returning to the realm of a whole, Zeno, at that instant, would stand in front of the subject.
Who are you? And how can you be in my castle without me noticing your wretched presence? I have more respect, since this castle was mine before it was yours.
Zeno-sama would be very surprised by the words that Zeldris had said to him.
Well, having spent millions of years asleep, I think I'll stretch my muscles with you. I hope you're powerful and do not disappoint me.
Zeldris at that moment, with an incredible speed, would begin to beat the king of everything, who despite being able to clearly see his blows, was not able to react. After 3 minutes of battle in which Zeno-sama had received all the beating of his life, he was able to move away a little and release all his power, leaving Zeldris surprised due to the power he released, even Mikoshin, who was heading to Zeno-sama's planet. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, Kakarot had already regained consciousness and was able to stand up again.
You're kind of a tough guy. Let's see how you like the true power of a king at all.
Zeno-sama at that moment began to increase his power so much, which was able to create a big explosion due to all the power he was releasing. At the moment of finishing, Zeno-sama at an incredible speed would throw himself against Zeldris, which was not able to dodge a strong blow in his face, being completely sent to fly to a planet. At that moment, Zeno-sama would begin to give him a shrapnel of blows, moving at a great speed throughout the universe.
Receive this, punishing sword of gods, spiritual destroyer.
A great sword would begin to descend from all over the universe. At that moment of hitting Zeldris, he would use his sword in the same way, starting an incredible clash of weapons. After 2 minutes, a strong explosion would be created all over the place. That's right, the collision was not able to withstand so much energy. However, at that precise moment, Zeno-sama, without wasting time, would rush again against Zeldris, who was very badly wounded.
Damn it. The power of this guy even surpasses the power of Zaiku-sama, who is the most powerful king of everything.
However, at that moment, an incredible pressure would fall on the entire universe. That's right, Kakarot had awakened and had a powerful Zenkai, with which he even made both subjects tremble. Kakarot was again passing to his Ozaru form, but this time the power he gave off was so much that even left surprised all the deities of the multiverse Zeno-sama. Even Mikoshin, which was going through the megaversal barriers, was pulled to the ground by that great pressure.
That boy's power is incredible. He's advancing so fast that it's hard to believe he's still a mere mortal.
But something that everyone was confused about was that Kakarot was not a mortal. He was destined to become the most powerful Saiyan creator god of all time, and to end the life of Yiki. The gigantic Ozaru at that moment would give a loud roar, and from a sphere of energy you could see Goku in his most powerful phase so far.
I'm ready for battle.
Kakarot had completely recovered, and thanks to this great battle, he had obtained an incredible Zenkai, making all the universes tremble, which would leave everyone surprised, even Zeno-sama, who was fighting with Zeldris.
This power is that Saiyan's. I thought that with my training, I'd overcome him, but his power seems to have no limits. What the hell is this pressure? I can't believe it. I can't even move. I'd understood that Zaiku-sama was the most powerful being of all the multiverses, but I was totally wrong.
Meanwhile, in a different universe, Mikoshin was equally surprised since the power of Kakarot even surpassed the power of Zeldris, which millions of years ago caused problems even to the super kings of the whole multiverse.
This is incredible! The power of a simple Saiyan is able to reach this level. He will be a great ally for us, so we must unite to finish with the subordinates of the negative creator god Yiki.
Returning to Universe 7, Kakarot was in his transformation of Super Saiyan Phase 4 Celestial, but the moment he regained consciousness, he would stop releasing such incredible power, since he was able to destroy everything around him.
Oh, sorry, Beerus and Whis. I was not able to control my power. That's the power that was felt 20 years ago. At last you have shown your attentive power, Kakarot-sama.
So that's your true power, Kakarot-sama. I never really stood a chance against you.
Never say such nonsense, Beerus. The limits will only be set for ourselves, because if we strive every day, our power will be gigantic.
Beerus was much more excited with the words of Kakarot, was determined to increase to an incredible level, a destructive level. Meanwhile, returning to the planet Vegeta, Father Bardock had been able to master the Super Saiyan, even obtaining the variables up to Super Saiyan Phase 3.
My son has yielded excellent results. Now I'm able to train with my son.
However, in a place far away from all these universes, the 5 subordinates of the negative creator god Yiki were forming a plan to eradicate Kakarot, who was able to the end of the life of one of his brothers in battle.
Even if I have to send 3 more gods of death, I will do it. Supreme Gods 3, 4, and 5. Go and finish with that wretch.
At that moment, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Supreme Gods would go at amazing speeds towards the planet of Beerus. That's right, in that place, they felt the energy of the guy who had ended the life of Reich. Kakarot, at that moment, would feel 3 gigantic powers. That's right, despite being millions of miles away, Kakarot was able to feel his abominable power.
Whis, Beerus, get out of there! 3 powers are on their way, and their powers are greater than the one I defeated. This will be a very complicated battle.
But Kakarot-sama, you fight alone, you'll die. Please, let us help you. At that moment, a sword of energy would descend directly towards both deities, and Kakarot, with an amazing reaction speed, was able to get in front of that great attack, and with his destructive blow, he was able to destroy the entire divine sword.
Get out of here! The only thing you'll do will be in my way!
Mr. Beerus, let's leave. Although it pains us to admit it, we can't do anything in this battle. Even Zeno-sama won't be able to confront these powers. Whis and Beerus at that moment were able to leave. A guy would stand in front of them.
Where do you think you're going? All beings who oppose the creator god Yiki will die.
Damn it! I told you so!
Kakarot at that moment would increase a great power of his power and launched himself against the guy who had arrived. However, the guy dodged each of his blows without any difficulty.
Hell, that power's hundreds of times more than the other guy faced.
At that moment, the 2 remaining gods would appear.
Don't think that it'll be an even battle. We have the mission to defeat you in any way, even if we outnumber you.
At that moment, the 3 subjects had thrown themselves against Kakarot, who in spite of fighting with a great part of his power, was not able to face 3 warriors at the same time. That's right, Kakarot was receiving the beating of his life, not being able to do anything to defend himself.
You turned out to be a poor insect. You have nothing to do against us.
Kakarot would receive the beating from a trio of warriors. However, the moment Kakarot became unconscious, he would return to his base state and seem to be lifeless.
Ha ha ha! Simple mortal, you are not a worthy opponent.
The 3 warriors charged one of their most powerful attacks, launching it against Kakarot, and the planet Beerus and Whis would try to stop the attack, but it would be in vain. The moment of the attack was about to end the life of the 3 warriors. An extremely powerful roar would be heard throughout the universes, even reaching the 2 most powerful supreme gods.
Thank you very much for trying to give your life for our master. But now, I will borrow your body, and you will face against the golden Ozaru.
At that moment, the body of Kakarot had passed again to the Super Saiyan Phase 4, but a big difference was the color of his fur. That's right, this time all his fur was a bright golden color.
How were you able to stop our attack?
But it doesn't matter. Now we'll finish you with the blows. At that moment, the Zaiku was only 3 centimeters away from hitting Beerus. Kakarot had teleported in front of Beerus and would strongly grab Zaiku's hand and would start to feel an abominable pain.
Aren't you defeated? They were able to defeat my master, but I'm their hidden power. along with the dragon Zalama. Now it'll be their turn to face us.
Kakarot in that moment of an extremely powerful blow would be able to pierce Zaiku, which at that moment would fall to the ground lifeless. Beerus and Whis were very surprised to realize the brutal increase of Kakarot. At lightning speed, the three warriors began to exchange fists, but unlike before, Kakarot was the only one who had the advantage. Regardless of the numerical difference, meanwhile, with Mikoshin, she had felt the power to also possess some creative energy. Really? That Saiyan is not normal. He has an amazing power. He's even able to face the descendants of the negative creator god Yiki. This is our chance to finish with all his legacy once and for all. In the palace of the King of Everything, Zeldris and Zeno-sama were both very surprised and unable to move. In that moment, Daishinkan, together with both guardians, would come out of their training, but despite having increased their power in an amazing way, they were completely dragged to the floor without being able to do anything.
But what the hell? Who releases all this power? Even though we were pushed our bodies to the limit, we're not able to withstand this pressure. The power of this pressure resembles that of the Saiyan boy. I remember him because he annihilated us.
Daishinkan at that moment, with his mental power, was able to realize that what both guardians were saying was the right thing, since he was able to observe Kakarot fighting with two other subjects.
Apparently, Kakarot-sama really is the protector of this multiverse, since he's facing two warriors who'd be able to finish us with a single blow.
Returning to the battle, both gods were very wounded, unlike Kakarot, who seemed not to be wounded, but internally his body was in pieces. That's right, Kakarot's body was about to collapse.
At this moment, I'll finish you off. I'm tired of playing games.
Kakarot began to increase all the remaining power he had left over, but even his energy veins were tearing from such an effort. At that moment, Kakarot would even activate Kaioken, making all his bones break from the energy drain.
This is the end of you cursed ones! You should have never faced me!
Kakarot, without giving him time to charge their attacks, launched into the attack against both, giving them a great beating. A powerful energy slingshot had reduced them to mere atoms. However, Kakarot had also fallen out of combat, but at that moment, Beerus would take him in his arms.
You're really amazing. I can't believe the power you have.
Beerus and Whis would again come to Kakarot to rest, but this time, all the power of the god Ozaru was merging with Kakarot so that he would be able to use it at will.
The final battle is very near, and we must be ready for all of the sake of all that's created by our creator god Psyche Bura.
Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, all the subjects were able to move freely, but at that very moment, a beautiful woman would arrive.
King of Everything, Zeno-sama, I can see that you're the most powerful king of everything in your combat form, being even able to defeat Zeldris.
Thank you for the compliment, Mikoshin. But who's Zeldris? How was he in my palace?
In short, Zeldris is an ancient demon who was sealed by all the other kings of the world.
This would surprise Zeno-sama, who didn't know all this.
But Mikoshin, why did you come here? I no longer doubt that you have come here to give me this information.
You're right, Zeno-sama. We must unite all the other kings of the whole, along with a Saiyan named Kakarot, since the final battle is about to begin.
Final battle? What the hell do you mean? I don't understand anything.
Zeno-sama, the creator gods really exist. They're not simple legend as it is believed, and apparently Kakarot was born with a great part of the powers of the creator god in order to end all the evil of these universes.
Zeno-sama would be very surprised by what Mikoshin said, since the legend of the creator gods was a simple rumor from millions of years ago.
So the creator gods really exist. It's incredible. Can't believe it. That means we must train even harder.
Indeed, Daishinkan, we must increase our powers because from what I've investigated, the powers of the last two supreme gods are abominable.
But how will we end the life of the creator god? I don't understand that.
The moment we wipe out all their offspring, it's said that the portal to Yiki's dimension will be observed, and we must defeat them in their world.
That's a damn suicide mission. How are we going to face him in this world?
Because if we face him here, his energy is capable of spreading to the other multiverses and reincarnate again.
Meanwhile, with Kakarot, he was deeply asleep, but the legendary Zalama was repairing each one of his energy veins since he needed his carrier to be 100% to support both powers. At that moment, Kakarot was able to wake up in a part of his subconscious observing Zalama.
Zalama! What happened? Did I die?
Of course not, you didn't die. Since your mission is to end the legacy of the creator god Yiki, and only you'll be able to do it.
I'm willing to give my life to accomplish it, but I don't know if I have enough power to do it.
At that very moment, the creator god had appeared in front of Kakarot and Zalama. But this is impossible. My creator Sekibura-sama is in front of me. Tell me, Lord, what do I owe this honor? After millions of years, my power has chosen a Saiyan who will put an end to all my dear brother's greed.
So you're the creator god. I promise you that I'll not let anyone get away with it. I'll even give my life just to put an end to all the evil.
I'm sure of that. So, I come to give you the battle knowledge that I have. Sekibura at that moment given him the divine knowledge of battles. That's right, the creator gods fought in a very different way than the mortals.
With this knowledge, he'll be able to face anyone.
Thank you very much for trusting my great god Zalama and legendary Saiyan god Ozaru. At that moment, a great light would illuminate all around him, and Sekibura had disappeared from Kakarot's mind.
I'm not allowed to lose. Zalama and Ozaru, the three of us will be victorious in this war.
Of course we will. Kakarot had received the last trace of energy from the creator god Sekibura, and with his extra power, he had been able to access his best state as a Saiyan. So this time, when Kakarot opened his eyes, they were all of a silver color. The power he gave off was amazing. His base state was currently the Ultra Instinct. However, the difference in power was abysmal, since only with the Ultra Instinct he was able to defeat kings in a single blow. The power that Kakarot-sama possesses is incredible. I'm not even able to see the limit of his power.
Oh, this power is incredible, but I must become much more powerful to be able to save all of my loved ones. Zalama, only in case of emergency I'll use your power.
As you order, Kakarot-sama, since from now on, you only will be the one creator god. Kakarot at this moment had recovered completely and 100% leaving Beerus and Whis surprised, since not even 24 hours had passed.
Kakarot-sama, it will be better for you to rest again since your power is still not completely recovered, and it'll be better for your energy veins to be completely recovered. Whis, you don't have to worry about me, because right now, I'm going to fish with those damned minions. I have the necessary power to do it.
But Kakarot-sama, this is very risky since, from what the three guys said, it was that the two remaining supreme gods were the most powerful ones.
No matter if they're the most powerful gods, today I'll put an end to the reign of Yiki and the end of the miserable existences as purgatory.
Kakarot, without saying a word, would quickly go to the planet Vegeta and would notice that all the Saiyans were training hard. However, one of the Saiyans stood out above all. Yes, the Saiyan was Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan.
The power of that Saiyan's amazing. I can't believe it. And as far as I can tell, his level of battle seems to have no limit.
Kakarot at that moment would approach Broly, which at that moment would begin to talk. And in the same way, Kakarot would explain everything that happened. Managing to get the help of Broly, Kakarot and Broly, at that moment, with the teleportation of Kakarot, would reach the Kingdom of Everything, leaving everyone surprised, even Zeldris, since he felt all the power that emanated from the body of Goku. Who is this guy? I've never met him in the past, but he has an unreal power.
Zeno-sama, Daishaken-sama, I thank you for trusting me. Now I'll fulfill my destiny and finish with the ambitious of that creator god Yiki.
Zeldris, at that moment of hearing the name, would be astonished since he had only heard it in legends of even ancient gods. Kakarot-sama, it's been the best decision we could have taken, so I'm sure that you'll be the savior of all the universes. We trust you, Kakarot-sama.
Count on that one. Even if I have to give my life, I'll finish with all traces of that wretch.
Kakarot and Broly at that moment would arrive to the planet of the two supreme gods, which would stand up. One of them had Saiyan appearance, while the other one seemed to be an ordinary human being. However, the shape of his aura formed the death, implying that he had finished with hundreds of living beings.
So you're the subordinates of the miserable Yiki.
Both subjects at that moment had launched an attack. Getting angry since Kakarot had not had the slightest respect of his creator, Broly at that moment would access the legendary Super Saiyan, making everything around him tremble. While Kakarot would begin to fight against Sorat, which looked like the simple human, but his power was amazing. While Broly was facing Tarble, the battle that both were having was a brutal battle. That's right, his power was so devastating that even the multiverses of the other kings of the whole were affected by the battle. Kakarot was the one who totally dominated the battle, unlike Broly, who was receiving a beating from Tarble. However, his power was increasing while the battle was going on, until the moment in which Tarble would direct a powerful blow, which Broly would stop with only one of his hands.
You've had enough fun. Now it's my turn to attack. I hope you're ready, because I'll not hold back.
Broly at that moment would hold Tarble by the head and start to crash him through every planet and rock that was around him, while Kakarot only dodged each of his blows, and when they collided their fists, they did it with the same power so as not to cause collisions in the other multiverses.
How is it possible that you have all this incredible power? This can't be. I'm the chosen one by the creator god Sekibura, and I'll not allow any of you two to put an end to my plan to put evil to an end. You can't do this. Since the power of our creator is unlimited, he has never known defeat and never will. No matter how impossible a challenge may seem, I'll overcome it one way or another.
Kakarot at that moment, in order to not waste more of his energy, he would increase his power a little bit, which with his speed would increase incredibly. With a strong blow, he would leave Sorat out of combat, who would fall to the ground.
I don't deserve to have mercy on you, you damned insect.
Kakarot, at that moment, with a large sphere of energy, had completely finished with the life of Sorat, leaving no trace. Tarbo would be surprised not to feel the power of Sorat, since he was the most powerful god of the subordinates of the creator god Yiki.
Damn it, this'll be the end of me. But if I have to die here, I'll not do it without finishing with the life of that damned one.
Tarble at that moment would increase his power to the maximum, being able to dodge a few blows of Broly and flying with his maximum speed towards Kakarot, hugging him tightly.
You trusted me. I know I'll die, so I'll explode and take you with me to the other world. Stop putting your filthy hands on my body. What did you say? Stop putting your dirty hands on my body.
At that moment, Goku's aura had increased so much, which would pulverize Tarble's body, which would leave Broly very surprised, as he witnessed the incredible and bestial power of Kakarot.
Kakarot-sama, are we really ready to finish with that creator god?
Of course we are, Broly. Trust me, today we will put an end to that cursed one.
Kakarot and Broly began to fly through all the universes at an overwhelming speed, so much that the same space-time was cracking, because the speed of both subjects was exceptional. However, what both didn't know was that the energy of the six fallen supreme gods was entering little by little into the body of Yiki. That's right, Yiki was absorbing the power of his offspring.
Damn it! If the essence of my children is coming into me, that means that they have died. I must assimilate this power and finish with the descendants of Sekibura.
Yiki at that moment was assimilating all that power so as not to have so much energy consumption. Meanwhile, returning to the kingdom of everything, all the beings of the place were very astonished.
How is it possible that this guy is going to face Yiki-sama? It's said that his power was never known to any limit. Only his brother Sekibura was able to defeat him, but he had to give his life to finish him off. You're right. But what you don't know is that the Saiyan named Kakarot is the son, or rather the being that possesses more than 75% of Sekibura's power. At that moment, Mikoshin had arrived, and Zeno-sama's multiverse would also be astonished.
That explains why that being has such bestial power. Only he's able of ending all the evil of the multiverses where the essence of Yiki.
This is something very difficult to assimilate. Can't believe that a being with such power exists. Much less did I know that the creator god Sekibura had left a great part of his power to a simple mortal. He is not a simple mortal, since as far as I can tell, he's the being that has the ability to withstand the power of a creator god. That's right, If any of us possessed the power of Psyche Bura-sama, we'd explode as this power would be so dense and heavy on our bodies and veins of energy.
Even the Saiyan who possesses a warrior body are formidable, but this Saiyan named Kakarot, it's amazing. I can't believe it.
Even so, we must not leave him alone, because if the power of Yiki is so great, he'll not have it easy, and we must have him with our energies.
Meanwhile, in Universe 7, Beerus and Whis were very thoughtful about everything that had happened, since this time Kakarot had been wounded much more than the last battle, and had a much bigger Zenkai and his wounds healed at an amazing speed.
Whis, is everything going normally? I don't know why, but I feel that something's very bad about to happen.
I felt the same way, Mr. Beerus, but we can't do anything, because the power of Kakarot-sama even surpasses a king at all.
At that moment, the voice of the High Priest Daishinkan-sama would resound throughout the universes.
Destroyer gods and guardian angels of all universes. I want you to be aware that if Kakarot-sama needs our powers to Venicure in this battle, we'll give him the last drop of our energies. As you command, Daishinkan-sama!
However, hundreds of thoughts were invading every planet of the 12 universes. That's right, since some gods didn't know who the guy named Kakarot was, and why even Daishinkan-sama had so much respect for him, returning to Kakarot and Broly, both had already flown for a few days and still had too much distance left. However, at that moment, Kakarot was able to observe Zalama in his mind.
Master, if you wish, I could teleport you to that place. Of course, only if you feel ready to go.
Of course we feel ready. Just one favor. Give us back our energies to go 100% of our power.
Of course, Master. That won't be a problem.
At that moment, Zalma's eyes would shine, making Kakarot and Broly to be at 100% of their power, and at that moment, they'd be teleported to a similar hell. That's right, everything around them was chaos, and even the air was too thick to breathe easily.
What the hell is this place? I can't believe that a being is able to live here.
At that moment, a loud voice would echo through the place.
Are you making fun of this place? You should thank the damned Psyche Bura. With that as his last power was able to seal me in this damned place. But when I finish with you two, I'll be able to finally return to the world of the living.
That'll be impossible, because if we're in this place, it's because we know that we can defeat you, even if it costs us our lives. Today, we will end your existence completely.
At that moment, Kakarot would take a step forward and would pass to the Celestial Super Saiyan 4, which at this time emanated an amazing pressure. And Broly at that moment would access the Super Saiyan Legendary. Both would be launched against Yiki, but to the surprise of both, Yiki was able to stop a blow of Broly and a kick of Kakarot with each of his hands, which would leave surprised both Saiyans, which didn't believe in such bestial power that he possessed.
Did you think that you're the only ones who trained? I knew that my stupid brother's offspring would be difficult, and that he would choose a worthy opponent, so I trained as well.
Yiki at that moment would expel a great part of his power, making both of them retreat and begin to hit him. They didn't know there were so many blows came from. Yiki in a moment would throw both of them to the ground, very badly wounded.
What the hell? I thought that was the power I possessed would be enough. But the power of that guy is incredible.
Kakarot! That guy's power is way beyond us.
I'm really sorry, Broly, for getting you into this situation. I'll create an opening. I want you to leave this place.
I'll never do it, Kakarot. If I have to die, I'll do it by your side.
Kakarot at that moment threw himself against Yiki, starting to exchange blows, while communicating telepathically with Broly.
Broly, I appreciate your help, but I need you alive. When you leave this damn place, go to the planet Vegeta. Ask all the Saiyans to give me their power.
But Kakarot, getting to planet Vegeta will take me days, or even weeks.
At that moment, Daishinkan had interfered with their mental communication.
Don't worry, Broly. I'll keep an eye on your power, and when you leave that place, I'll take you quickly to the planet Vegeta.
I don't know how you have interrupted my mental communication, but thank you, Daishinkan.
Is that all you can do?
You're nothing but a simple worm. Now I can use all my power. Doesn't matter if my body's in pieces. I'll exterminate you.
Kakarot at that moment would pass to its definitive golden phase, which mixed with the power of the legendary Ozaru and Zalama. Kakarot at that moment would give a strong roar, with which he was able to open a portal and making Broly leave that place.
So you've let your partner escape. That doesn't matter to me, because when I leave this place, I'll finish with every living being in the universe outside.
Yiki and Kakarot at that moment began with an intense battle, which could not observe a clear winner. This time, the power of Kakarot's fist caused her great damage to Yiki. At the moment that Broly left Daishaken would take him quickly to the planet Vegeta, and Broly would begin to explain everything that happened. Every being on the planet would begin to send their energies, as well as all the divine beings of the multiverses.
Kakarot-sama is not alone. We're with you.
Come on, Kakarot. You're the chosen one. We trust you.
Kakarot and Yiki were still exchanging blows. However, at that moment, Kakarot would fall to the ground because of the excess power that was reaching his whole body.
This is my chance. Die, damn it!
Yiki would throw a great energy sphere, creating an immense explosion. However, at that moment, Kakarot began to increase its power to the max, not causing any scratch, and after a great light, it would be observed to Kakarot, which had not been able to reach Omnipotence.
In this state, I only have 1 minute to finish you. This is impossible.
Kakarot at that moment would charge all his power in the last blow.
Receive this! Attack of the Dragon God, Celestial Divine Dragon, die!
The incredible attack would pulverize all existence of Yiki. Even destroying its dimension. Leaving no trace of this, Kakarot at that moment would be out of combat and would return to his base state. Makoshin would feel the power of Kakarot, would teleport quickly to his aid, and would take him to his palace. A few weeks later, Kakarot had recovered and had been proclaimed as the new creator god of the multiverse.
Thank you all very much. Without you, this would not have been possible.
Kakarot had been proclaimed as multiversal creator god, having finished with the life of Yiki. However, with the fall of Yiki, 3 creator gods of different timelines had awakened from their great dream. So with the fall of Yiki, which corresponded to all the north of the Megaverse, beings of great powers began to appear again, which were sealed with a creator seal. With the help of the power of the 4 poles, east, south, north, and west, but with the fall of one of the gods, the seal had been weakened by 25%. However, at that moment that Kakarot had been proclaimed as the new multiversal creator god, an amazing power would have overwhelmed the 3-dimensional gods.
The fall of a creator god and a birth of a new one. This had not happened since 1500 million years ago, when Yiki and his brother Saikibura fought, being Yiki the winner.
Returning with Kakarot and the others, all in the multiverse of Zeno-sama already had passed some 700 years, in which all the universes had the perfect level of mortality, and even the destroyer gods were beings of great powers, in which in this occasion had the necessary power to destroy universes. Nonetheless, in this moment of tranquility, it would not last for so long. This way it is, in that instant a powerful warrior would have been able to wake up. Flashback. At the moment that Kakarot was able to finish with the life of Yiki, the whole North Pole was left. A powerful being was able to set himself free. However, he was in terrible condition, so he had decided to sleep for a few hundred years. End of flashback.
After hundreds of years, I have completely recovered. Apparently Yiki has fallen, but I don't feel the power of Saikibura either. Apparently those two have completely killed each other. I only feel the power of Sorat, Nor, and Hades.
That being at that moment would expel a disgusting negative aura, with which he was able to begin to absorb the vital energy of hundreds of planets. However, he wished to have much greater power, so he decided to come up with a plan.
This'll be a bit risky, but I need more power. I want to finish with all the poles and be able to bring the demonic family back to life. Death Divider!
At that moment, from all of Meika's body, large amounts of blood would start to come out. That's right, this technique, which he had activated, required an incredible power. However, at that moment, in all the poles of each dimension, Creator God, including Kakarot's, small amounts of energy would be snatched by force. It was minimal, but counting with all the beings at the poles, it was an incredible power. What happened? 0.1% of my power was forcibly taken away. Kakarot wouldn't have given it any importance. However, in the realm of the whole, Daishaka was in deep thought, having lost a small part of his power as well. What is supposed to be happening? This technique reminds me of the forbidden technique Rapture, which was used by the 6 evil gods. However, Daishaka was confused because the Rapture was a copy of a real technique which had the name of Death Divider. Because even if a being was on the verge of death, the amount to be stolen was minimal, no matter if the bearer dies, hence its name. That's right, at that moment thousands of energy spheres and all that energy would begin to enter the body of Micah, which was filling with an incredible power, being so much that the 4-dimensional gods felt the rumble in his body. What the hell? My body feels terror and fear. That power's gigantic. It even surpasses Yiki's power with ease. Kakarot at that moment, at an incredible speed, would begin to move through all the multiverses. However, at the time of arrival, he would find absolutely nothing. But at that moment, the 3-dimensional gods would arrive in the same way, to which Kakarot would be very surprised, because he didn't know the existence of those gods. Who are you? And how were you able to feel those powers? We are the God-dimensional creators. Kakarot would be very astonished. We are aware that you are able to defeat Yiki by being the first Saiyan to be born with the power of the dragon god Zalama in the legendary Ozaru. How do you know this? Since you've died approximately 43 times, you were tied to an infinite loop, which had to be fulfilled if or not. I don't understand what you mean. In a few words, you were chosen by the power of Psyche Bura. You had to defeat his counterpart. However, before defeating him, you were defeated 43 times. It was said that when you defeated Yiki, everything would be destroyed, since in the premonition that we dimensional gods had in this battle, you would sacrifice yourself. I always told them that we should not trust in premonitions, because the future of us cannot be foreseen, and we have the power to change it. Kakarot was very astonished by everything that the 3-dimensional gods had told him. This means that I was always destined to end the life of Yiki. That's right, and until you succeeded, we don't know what would happen from here on. Because as we have told you, you should have died in that battle, so that the whole North Pole disappears with it, even 25% of the Creator Seal. Creator Seal? What's that? We must explain many things to you, otherwise, this being will be able to finish with all of us. And if we die, we'll not be able to put a balance to the god of death. I don't understand anything at all. Is there also a god of death? That's right, a god of death. He feeds on the souls of the beings that go to the other world, be it paradise or hell. He keeps their powers. Well, what can happen if you die? The power of the god of death would be so powerful as to destroy the earthly, angelic, and infernal world. At that moment, Kakarot would invite them to his multiverse so that even the destroyer gods are informed of this situation, which represents even greater threat than Yiki. In that instant, the 4 warriors at incredible speeds would arrive at the planet of Zeno-sama, and Kakarot would inform all the gods and angels in an emergency meeting. After 10 minutes, all divine beings of all universes had come to the planet of Zeno-sama. Why this emergency meeting, Kakarot-sama? At the moment, Hades, who is the most powerful dimensional god among the 3, would step forward. King of all, priest, angels, and gods. My name's Hades, and I'm the dimensional god, and the reason of this meeting is due to the amount of energy that was stolen from us. At that moment, hundreds of comments would be heard from all the gods and angels. Apparently, even when I defeated Yiki, very old seal was weakened, being able to escape a being, which even exceeds the power of Yiki. The most dangerous thing is not that, since according to legends in that dimension, there's a demonic race, which is capable of killing a creator god with a single blow. At that moment, all the gods began to panic. How is it possible to kill a creator god with a single blow? They're only legends, but in every legend or rumor, there's always some truth.
For that reason, I've sent you, gods. I want you to continue training as you have done so far. But if you noticed any anomaly, inform us. This is a galactic-level threat.
Understood, Kakarot-sama.
Meanwhile, in a very different place, thousands of shadows, negative energy, were around a single being. That's right, it was Micah, who, seconds before Kakarot arrived to this place, was able to use a three-dimensional change, with which he is able to disappear his ki completely.
That was close. The power of the three-dimensional gods is strong, but the power hidden in that guy is amazing. From what I was able to hear, that guy was able to end Yiki's life.
Mike at that moment would begin to assimilate all the power, which at every moment caused deeper into his sea of energy. Even the dimension where he was, energy spread, which caused stars and also destroyed by excess of energy.
The power of that guy is amazing. Despite only stealing 0.1% of all his power, my body's heavy and hurts. I have to bring my family to finish with those bastards.
Returning to the realm of Whole, all the gods at that moment had moved to each other in the universes, training every day more arduously. Meanwhile, on the planet of Zeno-sama, Kakarot, together with the three-dimensional gods, stayed talking for a few more minutes.
Kakarot, that's your name? I wanted to test your power, and to know if we have a chance against that power that has been felt recently.
Of course we'll fight, and we'll defeat whoever it is. I'll not let my multiverse be destroyed again.
Daishinkan at that moment, with his great power, would create a platform in which only Kakarot and Hades would remain.
You may begin.
At that moment, both subjects had amazing speeds, which were even complicated for Daishinkan and began to connect multiple blows. While exchanging blows, Hades was very confused.
What is this? The power of the past versions of Kakarot is amazing. This power is miserable. There's no point of comparison.
However, as Hades was very distracted in the battle, Kakarot at that moment would increase his power to 100% in the state of Ultra Instinct, connecting thousands of blows, which would make the powerful Hades spit blood.
Those blows hurt me. Are you hiding your true power?
That's right. I don't like to call attention with my power. I always prefer to keep it at rest so that my opponents trust me and finish them quickly.
You're different from all the versions of you that I've known in the past, since they were confident in their power, unlike you, which quickly ends with their enemies.
Hades at that moment, much more serious, would launch against Kakarot, starting to exchange blows, which this time Kakarot received without being able to do anything. However, after 3 minutes of Kakarot not being able to defend himself, he would use a little more of his power, accessing Ultra Phase Instinct 3.
I've rarely used this transformation since I usually access my celestial form.
Do you have much more power than this?
I do, and all this time I've been able to achieve a new transformation, but it'll be used on a worthy opponent.
Kakarot at the moment, at an astonishing speed that no dimensional god was able to observe, would knock out Hades, the most powerful dimensional god.
I can't believe it! Kakarot was able to defeat Hades!
At that moment, Kakarot would return to Ultra Instinct, which he had taken as his base state. After a few hours, Hades would wake up a little confused.
I seem to have lost. Your power is amazing. I'm not able to assimilate it, but we must still be ready. The power that was felt was from another dimension.
At that moment, the three-dimensional gods would return to each of their poles. Meanwhile, with Micah, he had been able to master all the power that he had stolen, beginning to devise a plan.
First, I need to just test the power of all the destroyer gods to know if they'll be a nuisance or just flies.
At that moment, Micah, with his great negative power, would create a massive dark energy in front of him, from which a few rays would come out. After a few days, a being would come out of such darkness. That's right, Micah had the power and knowledge necessary to create beings based on negativity.
You already know what your objective is. Attack the deities of Universe 7, since as I could investigate, it's the universe to which this subject's more appreciation. Destroy his planet. As you command, my master.
At that moment, the warrior named Draco would leave at great speed to Universe 7, arriving quickly to the planet of the Saiyans Vegeta, beginning to destroy everything around him. At that moment, Broly, Bardock, and the Prince of the Saiyans Vegeta would stand in front of this warrior.
Who the hell are you? Do you want to be exterminated by the Saiyan race? You don't have enough power to face me.
At that moment, the three warriors rushed against Draco, who would release a little of his power, shaking the entire Universe 7. So much so that Beerus and Whis had felt such a roar.
Mr. Beerus!
That's right, Whis. A new being of negative energy has appeared, and I'm sure it's due to that guy.
He is on the planet Vegeta. We must hurry.
While Beerus and Whis were heading at maximum speed to the planet of Vegeta, Draco had been able to give them a beating to the three warriors who had fallen very badly wounded. But Broly at that moment would begin to rise its maximum power. Broly was taking his body and his power beyond its limits. That's right, Broly was increasing his power to the maximum to be able to face that power, which surpassed even Yiki. That's right, when Mako had absorbed small essences of hundreds of beings from all universes, he had been able to surpass the power of Yiki by millions of times, being so powerful as to create a being with the same power as a creator god. Broly would continue increasing his power to the maximum, and in the same way, thousands of planets were destroyed by a great power of Broly. However, Draco was very calm, as if the power of Broly meant nothing to him. However, at that moment, something incredible would happen. That's right, Broly had been able to access the Ultra Instinct.
In this transformation, I'm not able to raise my power level much more. But let's see what you think of this dam. I'll finish you and I'll defend the planet Vegeta with my life.
At that moment, Broly would launch himself against Draco, who dodged each of his blows without any difficulty. While that, Vegeta and Bardock observed everything that had happened.
Damn it! Broly won't be able to defeat him. The enemy is pressing him every moment with his defense. Damn it! We better take our chances. Prince Vegeta, you're the most powerful Saiyan on the entire planet of Vegeta. You're right, Bardock. The only Saiyan above me is your son Kakarot. I know that if 5 Saiyans give him our power, the Super Saiyan God is reached. But what would happen if this time 50 Saiyans give him all our power?
Vegeta at that moment would be very surprised by what Bardock told him.
I know that I'm very powerful, but I don't know if my body can resist all your power.
Vegeta at that moment would observe how Broly had fallen to the ground badly wounded, and at that moment he had lost the Ultra Instinct. That's right, Broly was in the legendary Super Saiyan, and in the same way would have launched the attack. However, was being humiliated and massacred in an amazing way.
1,000 blades! Demonic sword!
At that moment, hundreds of swords would descend from the sky with the intention of ending the life of Broly. However, at that moment, Beerus and Whis would face those thousands of attacks. That is, Beerus and Whis had increased their power to the maximum.
This planet and all of Universe 7's protected by me. I'll not let you, a being of pure negative energy, destroy it. Well, so you two are the deities of Universe 7. I thought you had much higher power.
Draco, in a matter of seconds, was able to connect some strong blows to both deities, which would fall to the ground very badly injured. At that moment, Beerus would communicate telepathically with the Prince of the Saiyans.
Vegeta, we've heard what Bardock has told you, and we have no other option but to take the risk. Otherwise, this damned one will finish us all off.
That's right, Vegeta. Since it seems that an incredible negative energy has enveloped all the 12 universes, only leaving aside the kingdom of everything. So Kakarot-sama is impossible to feel our powers, and when he realizes it, it'll be too late.
I am the Prince of the Saiyans. I'll be the being that protects all this universe.
At that moment, the power of 50 Saiyans began to enter Vegeta's body, which was bursting with so much power.
I'm able to achieve. I am the great Vegeta!
In that same instant, the gigantic power would be felt by all the 12 universes. That's right, the power of the great Prince of the Saiyans was causing destruction by all the 12 universes. Even being able to crack the bar dark of Draco, at that moment, Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue would give a powerful scream, with which his power would increase in an amazing way. And in the same way his hair had changed to white, it would seem that he had mastered the Ultra Instinct, but it was something very different. That's right, in that moment of a great explosion would be observed Vegeta in the transformation of the Omni God. That's right, Vegeta had been able to transcend to what beyond a king of everything.
This is amazing! The symbols that Vegeta has on his forehead only represent one thing. He has been able to surpass the power of an ordinary king of everything.
This is time I, the Prince of the Saiyans, will be your enemy.
Draco would notice the essence of that Saiyan was releasing, being very surprised due to the pure energy that he was releasing.
Well, I don't know how you got all that power, but now I'll devour you, because your energy will serve to make me more powerful.
Draco and Vegeta at that moment would begin to exchange blows at an incredible speed. That's right, this time neither of the two was behind the other, since this time Vegeta had been able to overcome the power of a creator god in the same way. Meanwhile, in a faraway place, Micah was observing everything that happened. Being a little surprised by the power of that Saiyan was releasing. That's right, the power of Vegeta had even called the attention of Micah, the being that was able to end the life of a creator god with a simple one of his hands. The power of the deities of the universe is insignificant, but if that Saiyan is incredible, I can't believe that he's not the god of his universe. This will be a lot of fun. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Goku was very thoughtful talking to Daishinkan. However, he would hear the voice of his father Bardock.
My son, an incredibly powerful being has arrived on the planet. Beerus and Whis have been defeated. At this moment, Prince Vegeta's fighting. Although they are having an even battle, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Father, for letting me know. At this moment, I'll be on the plane of Vegeta in case something gets complicated. Don't worry.
Kakarot-sama, is something wrong?
Why are we not able to feel the power of the other universes?
What do you mean, Kakarot-sama? We're always able to sense any energy, no matter where in the 12 universes they're located.
So you're not aware? My planet's under attack, and Beerus together with Whis have been defeated.
Daishinkan at that moment would be very astonished because he didn't know who had the necessary power to defeat the most powerful angel and god of the 12 universes, and above all, not to feel his power. Kakarot and Daishinkan at that moment began to fly at a great speed, but when they wanted to enter the 12 universes, it was impossible. That's right, both had collided against a powerful barrier.
So this is why we're not able to feel the power of the other universes. A being has placed a barrier of pure negative energy.
That won't be enough to stop me.
Kakarot at that moment would charge a super powerful blow in which he had destroyed that powerful barrier. But to his surprise, when he hit it, it was in vain. That's right, he had not received any damage.
Damn it! I don't have the time for games. You have to be able to withstand 10% of all my power. Divine Dragon! Divine Extension!
At that moment, a powerful dragon of a white color would come out of the fist of Kakarot, hitting the barrier directly and managing to make it 1,000 pieces. At that moment, Draco would feel the incredible power of that subject.
This is incredible! His power is of another level. I'll be pulverized quickly if I'm not able to defeat this Saiyan.
Draco and Vegeta at that moment would take the battle much more seriously, with the intention of ending it once and for all. Because Vegeta's body was suffering the side effects of using the power beyond a king of all, while Draco knew that if Kakarot had arrived to the battlefield, would be pulverized in a matter of seconds. However, Kakarot, along with Daishinkan, would arrive at the battlefield.
I'll not interfere in your battle. If you're able to defeat Vegeta, you can leave here. Although I doubt you'll be able to defeat him. He carries all the power of the Saiyan race.
Vegeta at that moment, much more motivated by Kakarot's, would begin to hit him with a fury of blows, being able to send him to crash to a planet.
Receive this, the destroyers of the great Vegeta!
At that moment, hundreds of energy spheres would fall on Draco, which this time was suffering incredible damage, so much so that he had lost one of his arms by such a bestial attack.
Damn, the power of that wretch is amazing, but I have to be able to defeat him.
Vegeta's power has increased in a beastly way. He's even been able to achieve the transformation with which I was able to defeat Yiki.
You're right, Kakarot-sama, but do you think I'll be able to defeat that guy?
Vegeta will be able to defeat him. His power is gigantic. The only thing that worries me is the regeneration of that guy. His negative energy is amazing.
At that moment, Hades would appear next to Kakarot.
You are right, Kakarot. The negative energy of that guy is very similar to that of the day. but in smaller quantities.
So you have also felt the ki of both of them.
By destroying the barrier, the power of both subjects is spread throughout the multiverses, being able for us dimensional gods to perceive it.
I understand, but tell me, what are dimensional gods like you doing here?
The power that comes from that being can help us know where its creator is, since a clue must give us a clue.
At that moment, an incredible clash of fists for all the universes could be observed. That's right, Vegeta and Draco were giving the last of their energies. At that moment of separating, Draco and Vegeta would launch their maximum powers. However, when Vegeta knew that he had to protect the entire planet Vegeta, he was able to defeat Draco in the clash of powers, being able to turn him into simple dust of the universe. In that same instant, Vegeta would fall to the ground to his base state, and with most of his bones broken due to such excess energy, at that moment Kakarot would approach Vegeta.
You've done excellent, Vegeta. Now you can rest.
At that moment, Kakarot would stretch out one of his hands, being able to make Vegeta's body whole, and energy to be completely restored. The only thing that he needed was to rest. Meanwhile, with Mika, he would start to laugh.
The Saiyans really are incredible beings.
But against me, it won't be enough.
I'll crush each one of their hopes until I turn them into simple dust.
Mika at that moment would expel an incredible power, which would even leave him surprised.
Being in this dimension, which seems like hell itself, has been incredible, since my power has increased in a very impressive way.
Returning to Kakarot and the others, Kakarot together with Hades were in deep thought. At that moment, Sora and No would arrive as well.
My bad, that's because that guy was able to create warriors at the level of a creator god. No matter how much power we have, he'll be able to pulverize us. Before he creates more warriors with that power, we'll be better to finish with him once and for all.
Nor's right! So one way or another we have to get to that wretch to end his life once and for all.
However, at that moment, thousands of energy spheres would fall on all those present who would realize it in time.
Define Reflector!
At that moment, all the attacks would return to the whole universe.
You don't need to look for me, because very soon, I'll come for each one of you. And no matter what you do, I'll finish with all the divine traces.
At that moment, Mika, despite being in another dimension, was able to wreak havoc throughout the multiverses. That's right, he was able to overcome the chaos of universal to megaversal. Mika has been able to destroy millions of planets with just one attack despite being in another dimension.
Hell, we cannot allow our power to continue to grow, because if it does, we won't be able to destroy that monster.
No, this is unforgivable. This situation must not continue, because if we don't stop him, now we won't be able to do anything against that guy. I agree with Noah. It'll be better to do it now.
But how do we get to this dimension? This will be impossible.
Even if we're able to jump between dimensions, we won't be able to reach that guy's dimension.
There is a last alternative to reach that dimension, but it'll be to sacrifice the dragon of the dragon spheres of the planet Namek.
I don't like the idea of sacrificing the dragon of the planet Namek, but we have no other option, since we can bring it to life with the Super Dragon Balls. But if that being ends with each one of us, nothing and nobody will be able to stop it.
All the dimensional gods, together with Daishinkan, would quickly head to the planet Namek, quickly summoning the dragon.
Tell me, what is your wish? I can fulfill 3 wishes, as many as you want.
I'm very sorry, but can you teleport us to the dimension where the guy named Mika is located?
Of course I can, but this will use up to the other 2 wishes, and I will still lose my life.
We promise to bring you back to life, because if that guy dominates his power much more, we won't be able to do anything against him. It would be the end of all of us.
Don't worry, I trust you, and it will be an honor to give my life to finish with that guy. If I don't revive, I will be remembered as a legend.
The dragon at that moment would rise all over the place, beginning to channel all his power. At that moment, an attack was making them travel at an amazing speed. However, at that moment, the whole body of the dragon would vanish into nothingness. Meanwhile, in the dimension of Micah, hundreds of shadows were all around, so it is Micah would continue absorbing much more power from all of the beings of the multiverses.
This power is incredible. Nothing and no one will be able to stop me.
What the hell is coming? At that moment, a great roar together with a great light could be seen all over Micah's dimension, leaving him a little surprised.
So it's you. I wasn't ready since I wanted to summon my whole family, but instead I'll have to absorb them. I don't have time to revive them. We won't allow you. You're a monster who must die today. We won't allow you to kill innocent people. Demonic summoning!
At that moment, Draco appeared on the battlefield, but the power he possessed this time was overwhelming. Nothing compared to the Draco that faced Vegeta. Kakarot was trusting, would throw a large sphere of energy, but Draco, with simply one of his hands, would be able to return the attack.
Now I'm not under your power. You won't be able to defeat me as easily as last time.
Ancestors and demonic forbidden family. I, as Micah the King, I ask for your powers to end the whole divine world, the world which mocked us.
A surprising dark power would begin to enter Micah's body, which was filling with overwhelming power. That's right, the power that the entire demonic race was entering his spiritual sea of energy, beginning to charge him immediately.
Oh, this power hurts, but it's a pleasant pain, knowing that I'll finally be able to finish with every divine being that humiliated us in the past.
Meanwhile, with Draco and the other warriors, they were having a somewhat easy battle, being very powerful beings and winning in numerical quantity. However, every time I exterminated, he would reappear, being a somewhat annoying being.
So you have already tired me. I'll finish with you the next attack. Die, you damned worm! Megaversal Atomic Destroyer!
An attack from the form of a red dragon would ram them completely, which was disintegrating him little by little, and Draco was not able to do anything.
Now we must stop Micah!
At that moment, the warriors threw themselves against him, but an incredible pressure would be put on them to their knees, even breaking the bone of Daishaken being the weakest of all. Kakarot, with great difficulty, would be able to create a barrier to Daishaken to be able to withstand the pressure a little. Micah at that moment would give a loud scream.
This power is unbelievable!
Micah had destroyed the whole dimension they were in. That's right, Micah's power had surpassed all limits, even being able to destroy dimensions. At the moment of appearing in the 12 universes, the pressure that she released over all the universes, not letting any being be able to move freely.
What the hell? Why do I feel that my body's so heavy?
I don't know, Mr. Beerus, but the same thing happened to me. I'm not able to move freely.
At that moment, all the gods were able to observe how a great battle occurred in the 12 universes. That's right, the power of the beings that so much was even all the gods were able to observe it. Meanwhile, Daishaken-sama, with his maximum power, was able to reach the realm of everything to report everything that was happening.
Yes, sir. That being has completely awakened, and I don't know if Kakarot-sama, with the help of the dimensional gods, will be able to defeat it.
Gods and angels, this is a maximum alert. All the divine beings will serve as support in this battle.
Zeno-sama at that moment would begin to merge with his guardians, and in the same way was releasing an incredible power, so much so that it would make everything around him rumble, leaving Daishaken-sama very surprised.
I didn't understand that the King of All possessed all that beastly power, but it'll be of great help.
Returning to the battle, even though the dimensional gods used a great part of their powers, they were not able to scratch that being who had surpassed a creator god by hundreds of times.
It will be better for you to resign yourselves. If you swear loyal to me, I can have you as my slaves.
Hades, who had never been humiliated in this way, furious, threw himself against Micah, who, at that moment, would give a big smile and at an incredible speed, was able to give him a blow which would make him fall back hundreds of meters and fall to a badly wounded planet.
This being's worthy of using all my power.
Kakarot at that moment would begin to increase his power to the maximum. That's right, Kakarot had access to his Omni transformation, which would leave everyone present surprised by the power that Kakarot was releasing.
Is that the true power of Kakarot? His power is abominable.
I knew you had much more hidden power. Now fight me, as equals we are, since the rest are just flies. Don't trust Micah. This isn't my full power. I still have one more transformation, but I'm not able to master it 100%.
Micah and Kakarot at that moment launched themselves to the attack. The collisions of their fists were incredible, since their speed had increased even 1,000 times more. At the same time, the beings of the Kingdom of Everything arrived, and also a being that emanated an incredible power. That's right, it was the fusion of all the gods and angels.
The power of Kakarot-sama is amazing. He'll be able to defeat them.
No, Micah's only pressuring him with his defense. The more Kakarot-sama attacks, the more he weakens. On the contrary, Micah's powers has not diminished at all.
Kakarot at that moment was able to hit him with a very powerful blow, which made him fall to the ground very badly wounded.
What did you think of that? Didn't you see it coming?
However, behind Kakarot, a shadow would be created, which would begin to hit Kakarot without him being able to do anything to get out of the beastly attack.
How about the power of beyond a creator god? This is my new technique, Death Slap.
Kakarot's body was being slaughtered by Micah's technique, which was even damaging his whole sea of energy.
You cannot allow Kakarot to fall in combat. Gods, kings, and priests, to attack!
At the moment, all the warriors threw themselves against Micah with the intention of stopping the technique, but it was not possible because they were only a few centimeters away from touching Micah, and incredible pressure would fall on all of them. And without wasting time, Micah in the same way had launched thousands of energy arrows.
With my simple pressure, I was able to break you. You don't have enough power to finish me off. You're a simple worm.
However, at that moment, even though Kakarot was receiving a beating, a much more incredible power would begin to overflow Kakarot's body. And at that moment, the face of a great Ozaru could be seen all over the place. And in the same way, an incredible roar would make all the 12 universes rumble.
What the hell? How's he able to release power if he's being slaughtered by my technique?
At that moment, Kakarot would release an amazing power, neutralizing Micah's technique without any difficulty. At the moment, Kakarot would continue increasing his power much more, accessing the Celestial Super Saiyan 4.
This is my maximum power, but I know that this will not be enough. Ozaru and Zalama, I trust you. Give me your power.
At that moment, Rei's spheres of fire began to be observed all around. And in the same way, the beast roar would sound all over the place, making Micah's body shudder.
What's happening to him? I thought he had no more power, but I was completely wrong. Although this will be fun, he doesn't have the power to defeat me.
After a big explosion, Kakarot could be seen with his maximum power. But this time, all of his fur was of a golden color. That's right, Kakarot was using the power he was born with. And by increasing his level, the power exploded completely.
I hope you're prepared, because now I won't trust you. I'll finish you once and for all. That won't be possible.
Micah was not able to finish his sentence because he had been sent to fly to a planet. Falling heavily, Micah would recover from the blow, but he was a little dizzy.
How the hell was he able to hit me with that speed? I wasn't able to see anything.
Micah in that moment would recover completely and would increase his power to the maximum. That's right, Micah was determined to end the life of that Saiyan. But at that moment, both began to collide, great collisions of their fists and also great bursts of energy.
Receive this, Angelic Cannon!
At that moment, an incredible little would be thrown towards Micah, which in the same way would not stay behind, throwing an amazing power against Kakarot. After only 30 seconds, they would clash, both attacks had exploded, beginning to exchange blows at an impressive speed.
Damn it, the Master's body is suffering too much. Don't worry, you keep on giving him your stamina, while I grant him the supreme knowledge.
That's right, Kakarot had the support of the supreme legendary Ozaru and the legendary dragon Zalama. At that moment, both beings would stare at each other.
You're really a tough guy, but I'll be able to finish you off. I say the same thing, but you lack aggression and power.
Both warriors began with the last clash of their fists, since at that moment, they were both on the verge of death. Micah was able to give him a powerful blow, which would make him fall to the ground a little wounded, but without giving him time to recover, he would charge an amazing power, which would throw him. Kakarot would try to stop him, but the condensed energy was supreme.
All of us, let's give him every drop of our energy at this moment.
At that moment, thousands of energy spheres began to enter Kakarot's body, which at that moment had reached a new power. So right, Kakarot was only able to take his body to the limit, and that great attack was able to disintegrate him with only 2 fingers, leaving Micah trembling, since that attack possessed a great part of his power.
Who the hell are you? I'm the descendant of the creator god Psyche Bura, and neither you nor anyone else will end this multiverse. Damn you! You will never be a creator god. You're a simple Saiyan. I'm the best Saiyan of my race, so you're no match for me.
At that moment, Kakarot with his maximum power would grant him a great blow, making him fall to the planet.
With this attack, I'll end your miserable life. Omnipotent Dragon!
Kakarot would connect an incredible attack on Micah's stomach, and at that moment, an incredible dragon would come out of his hand, finishing with Micah completely. At that moment, Kakarot would return to the Ultra Institute, since the power would beyond of a creator god was overwhelming. At that moment, an incredible golden light would appear all over the place, and would begin to take form of a man, which would leave everyone surprised.
Kakarot, I was never wrong in choosing you as my successor. You're a being of great power, and that does not end the lives of innocent beings.
Thank you very much for trusting me, Saikibura-sama.
Saikibura, at that moment, would stretch out one of his hands, returning all the energy to one of the warriors, and likewise to the gods' dimensions, would heal them all of their wounds.
How is this possible?
I knew this would happen. From now on, Kakarot will be named as the Supreme Omnipotent God. He'd be the maximum authority of all the multiverses.
Of course, he'll be our new leader, from whom we'll give our lives if necessary.
With the power of that omnipotence offers me, I, Saikibura, I restore all the multiverses, and in the same way I bring to life the dragon of the planet Namek.
At that moment, all the multiverses were completely reconstructed.
Thank you very much for everything, Saikibura-sama.
To you, Kakarot, for changing history once more.
Saikibura at that moment again disappeared in the golden light. At that moment, Zeno-sama approached Kakarot.
Kakarot-sama, tell us, what's your order from now on?
With the end of Micah, all the evil's completely over. I want this peace to last forever.
And so it was that Kakarot, a Saiyan who was born with the power of the legendary Ozaru, and the dragon Zalama had protected all the multiverses, becoming the new supreme omnipotent god. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans.
Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?
Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!
Come on, God of Darkness, show us what you can do.
Takami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness!
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takami. However, as the battle progressed, Takami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified, and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances.
Vegeta, it's time to go further.
Of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better.
Of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Final flash! The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact. His power is awesome, but I'm a god.
The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack! Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No! I haven't taken complete control yet!
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form. But now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Bahamut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing, was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Bahamut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami!
Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky. but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Bahamut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily. Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen? The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyan's fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option.
I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Tenshinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Tenshinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Tenshinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Tenshinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Tenshinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Tenshinhan! Chaos!
Tenshinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Tenshinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tenshinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tenshinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takami.
But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light.
You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami! The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power!
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta! I am eternal! I'm a god! You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this!
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed this situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them. But the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed.
Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over. As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing.
We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continue to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused.
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined. In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned dark god!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach.
We're not going to let this guy get away with this! Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body.
His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z-Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z-Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants. And each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended.
You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring.
Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies, but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle.
His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths, "His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!" Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny.
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
Gohan's unleashing an incredible power.
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice, "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta, "Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!" His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
"Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far. And I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan." The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength. Was that enough?" He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over. "You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power."
Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z Warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all. "No!
I can't give up this power. It's to protect everyone, to my family, to the earth.
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced.
Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan.
Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll, weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength. Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love." His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere. "I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!"
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action.
We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy.
Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically. "We have it, Piccolo. I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're going to give our best." Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes, let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team.
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination. Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit. Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there.
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
Every battle, every loss, strengthens us and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile. We'll fight with everything we have.
The memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together, we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup.
By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakarot. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bounds of camaraderie and trust between the Z warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta. There's no turning back now. Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all. Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my power, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night, painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope, in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our front safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack.
Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly.
The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block, was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z Warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training in epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies, but also rivals, who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity. This epic moment not only symbolized the brute strength of the legendary Saiyans, but also the depth of their connection as battle companions and friends. Her self-sacrifice and dedication to protecting her home and loved ones shone with an intensity that defied the shadows of despair. With Takagami vulnerable before them, Earth's heroes prepared for the final assault, determined to put an end to the dark threat looming over their world and restore the lost peace. As this crucial opportunity approached, Gohan and Piccolo, two warriors whose togetherness goes beyond simple camaraderie, combine their powers with synchronization and understanding that only the closest battle partners could achieve. With relentless determination and a strategic focus sharp as the edge of a sword, they faced the creatures summoned by Takagami, with a bravery that inspired everyone present on the battlefield.
Mr. Piccolo, keep the rear guard! I'm going to the front! It is crucial to maintain our formation and protect our backs as we move forward towards the main battle. I trust you to keep us safe from behind.
Understood, Gohan. Don't let your guard down. Our coordination is key for being victorious. Stay alert and move forward with determination. Together we'll overcome this challenge.
Gohan's energy, bright and powerful as the sun as it peaks, was intertwined with Piccolo's tactical cunning and dexterity, creating a symphony of power and skill that defied expectations. Each coordinated movement between them was a masterful combined dance, where offensive and defense intertwined in a lethal harmony. The creatures summoned by Takagami, who once posed a formidable threat, now found themselves at a disadvantage in the face of the unbreakable union of these two exceptional warriors. The battlefield lit up with flashes of brilliant energy as Gohan and Piccolo unleashed their full potential, overcoming every obstacle with steely determination and calculated strategies. The trust between them was palpable, a connection that transcended words and manifested itself in every punch and every block. With each enemy defeated, their path to Takami cleared, bringing them closer and closer to the final victory they sought to protect their world and their loved ones.
Gohan, you need to buy time. I will prepare my best attack to defeat these creatures. I trust you can keep them busy while I get ready. Together, we can change the course of this battle.
Mr. Piccolo, I'll do my best to buy time. My goal is to keep these creatures at bay as long as possible so I can prepare their attack. Trust me, I won't let you down.
The moment of truth was approaching, and Gohan was advancing with a firm step, while Piccolo prepared his best attack to defeat these creatures summoned by Bahamut's disciple and put an end to the darkness that had threatened his home. His fiery determination was a beacon of hope for those who witnessed his courageous struggle, reminding them that strength lies in the unity and indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice and peace. The critical moment came when every move decided the fate of the battle. Gohan, in a last effort, took his final form. With his bright and determined aura, advanced to the front of the battle line, facing the dark creatures with a mixture of bravery and strategy, as he blocked the onslaughts of the shadows with his dazzling ki. The creatures summoned by Takami were not easy rivals to beat, but Gohan in his ultimate form took a lot of confidence and began to face the creatures they are facing. Gohan knew that keeping the creatures at bay was crucial to allowing Piccolo to unleash his full power, while Gohan struggled to contain the shadows with his fast movements and powerful attacks. Piccolo concentrated his energy preparing for the most powerful technique. The tension on the battlefield was palpable, but there was no room for doubt. Confidence in their abilities and in their partner was the key to facing the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Gohan, keep it up. You're demonstrating exceptional courage and impressive mastery on the battlefield. Every movement of yours is a barrier that prevents the advancement of these creatures. It's crucial that you hold this firmness for a few more moments while I finalize the preparations for my final ultimate technique. I have full confidence in your abilities and determination. Remember that our teamwork is the key to overcoming any challenge. Keep the pressure on and don't let your guard down. Together we can turn the tide of this battle and protect our loved ones.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll not allow them to advance a single step further. You can trust me. I'm fully prepared to take on this responsibility and keep these creatures at bay. Together, we can overcome this and protect our loved ones. My determination's unwavering, and I'll not back down in the face of this challenge, because I know that every stroke I stop here is a step towards victory. Our teamwork and mutual trust will give us the strength to prevail in this battle. Let's show them what we're capable of and write our own destiny in this struggle.
The scene unfolds with increasing intensity as Gohan definitively plunges into the maelstrom of combat. His determination is reflected in every gesture, and every tense muscle, and in every flash of energy that emanates from his being. The creatures summoned by Takami's nightmarish creatures with twisted shapes and burning eyes fiercely advance towards Gohan, seeking to overwhelm him with their numbers and their uncontrolled fury. Gohan, however, is not daunted. His ki shines around him like an aura of power, marking every movement with a clear purpose. When the first creature lunges with sharp claws, Gohan responds with a precise block, channeling his energy to stop the attack with a glowing barrier. The resulting impact makes the ground tremble under his feet, but Gohan remains steadfast, his eyes fixed on his opponent. Each subsequent blow is an exhibition of martial skill and ki control. Gohan moves with grace and speed, dodging the onslaughts of creatures with fluid movements, and countering with calculated blows. His fists and legs turn into bursts of energy, hitting the enemies with force and precision. Each impact causes bursts of energy that light up the battlefield, drawing bright arcs in the air and kicking up swirls of dust around them. The creatures do not retreat easily. Their resistance is stubborn, and their thirst for destruction is insatiable. Gohan is forced to deploy more advanced techniques, combining his speed and strength with concentrated energy attacks. Ki waves cut through the air as Gohan releases bursts of controlled energy, seeking to weaken his opponents and open gaps in their defenses. Every block, Every dodge is a dance of anticipation and reaction. Gohan relies on his training and his intellect, reading the movements of the creatures, responding with precise movements. Your connection to your spiritual energy is evident in every movement, every pulse of energy emanating from your being. Meanwhile, Piccolo completes the charge of his definitive technique, his absolute concentration palpable in the air. The sound of his pent-up energy resonates on the battlefield, adding a layer of palpable tension to the charged atmosphere of battle. Gohan feels Piccolo's accumulated power as a beacon of hope and a call to redouble his efforts.
This is our chance, Gohan. Keep the pressure on them, and don't give them any respite. Every move of yours is crucial right now, as we are close to changing the course of this battle. I trust in your ability to keep them at bay, while we prepare our counterattack. Keep your determination, and keep going. Together, we can make it happen.
Gohan nods with determination as he prepares for the next attack. The combat dance between Gohan and the creatures reach its climax when Gohan, with a graceful twist, unleashes a series of energy blasts that cut through the enemy ranks. The creatures recoil momentarily, their twisted forms showing signs of weakness for the first time.
Goten! Trunks! I need you to be alert! Mr. Piccolo is preparing a powerful attack! Move quickly and maintain your defenses! Our coordination is crucial at this critical moment of the battle. We can't afford to make mistakes now. I'm confident in your ability to respond quickly and effectively. Stay focused and keep fighting with determination. Come on, we can still turn the tide of this battle in our favor.
The moment came when Gohan, with a precise movement, opened a breach in the creature's defenses, allowing Piccolo to unleash his devastating attack. With a resounding scream, Piccolo releases his ultimate technique, a beam of concentrated energy that cuts through the sky like a fiery comet.
Makankasapo!
The pure energy swirls frantically around the lightning, forming a spiral of controlled energy that seems to dance in the air with calculated ferocity. The extreme concentration of energy causes a burst that radiates a dazzling radiance, as if the sun itself were transcending on the battlefield. The energy beam, with its incomparable power, transverses the enemy ranks with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the creatures with an amazing efficiency that takes the breath away of those who witness its devastating impact. The initial explosion is only the prelude to the destruction that is unleashed. The torrent of concentrated energy envelops the creatures in a lethal embrace, eroding their forms with an overwhelming intensity. Each wave of energy emanating from the ray is like a chisel, carving out space itself, gradually disintegrating the creatures that meet its path with an inexorable inevitability. The show is both majestic and terrifying, with the energy displayed manifesting in vibrant colors that collide and intertwine in a chaotic dance. The controlled destruction leaves in its wake a trail of disintegration that seems to defy the very laws of physics, demonstrating the supreme power that resides in the hands of those who master the arts of combat and energy control. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the dark threat dissipating with each defeated creature. Gohan and Piccolo, breathing heavily, but with a satisfied smile, met in the center of the battlefield, knowing that their teamwork and determination had tipped the scales toward victory. Now, with the road to Takami clear, they were preparing for the final assault, confident that their union would return their greatest strength. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the echo of controlled destruction echoing through the air as the enemy creatures vanquished before the combined might of Gohan and Piccolo. The glow of the dissipated energy hinted at the near victory, marked by the determination and teamwork of the brave warriors Z, Gohan, and Piccolo. Breathing heavily but with a smile of satisfaction on their faces, met in the center of the battlefield, exchanging looks of complicity that spoke of a bond forged in battle and camaraderie. Meanwhile, in another part of the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta were facing Takami in an epic duel that defied the limits of known power. With their faces marked with determination and their eyes shining with a fierce intensity, the two legendary Saiyans demonstrated once again why they were considered the most powerful warriors in the universe. His movements were like a whirlwind of quick attacks and precise defenses, each strike resounding like thunder in the energy-charged air.
Vegeta, keep the pressure on. Let's finish this together.
Of course, Kakarot. I'm not gonna let this guy beat us.
The intensity of their confrontation filled the battlefield, making the ground shake with every energy shock. Takami, although powerful, was in a challenging position in the face of the unstoppable combination of Goku and Vegeta.
I'll not underestimate your power, Saiyans. I recognize their bravery, but their determination will not be enough to stop me. My strength is unshakable. My power is unstoppable. Get ready to face the real darkness.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Draco.